The White House, Capitol Hill, the campaign trail. It's all here. The best reporting, the power of NBC News, all in one place. Share, follow, check in right now. NBCPolitics.com.
Welcome to a special edition of Politics Nation live from Sanford, Florida. I'm Al Sharpton. It's been exactly 1 month since Trayvon Martin was shot and killed. And tonight, his killer is still walking free. Right now, a public meeting is underway here at the Civic Center right behind me, where Trayvon's parents just addressed the city commission. Earlier today, thousands of protesters marched and rallied for justice while state and federal investigators met here in Sanford to review the case. We also learned that investigators will finally interview Trayvon's girlfriend, who was on the phone with him minutes before his death. And today, details were leaked to the press about what shooter George Zimmerman told police happened the night 1 month ago that Trayvon was killed. The Orlando Sentinel reports Zimmerman claims he gave up chasing Trayvon and he was walking back to his SUV when Trayvon approached him from behind. Zimmerman claims Trayvon punched him, knocked him down, and slammed his head into the sidewalk, and that he was the one calling for help, not Trayvon. Zimmerman claims he shot Trayvon in self-defense. But there are serious questions about Zimmerman's version of events between the time Zimmerman told 911 operator that he was pursuing Trayvon and the time he shot him. The Orlando Sentinel says, quote, there's about a 1 minute gap during which police say they're not sure what happened. And eyewitnesses say Zimmerman's story contradicts what they saw and heard.
We were in the kitchen. I heard the crying. It was a little boy. As soon as the gun went off, the crying stopped. I firmly believe this was not self-defense. My point is that I feel it was not self-defense because I heard the crying, and if it was Zimmerman that was crying, Zimmerman would have continued crying after the shot went off.
People who knew what Trayvon was about as a person all say they can't believe he attacked Zimmerman. Trayvon's former football coach says, quote, there's no way I can believe that because he's not a confrontational kid. It just wouldn't happen. It's just not the kind of kid he was. Joining me now are the parents of Trayvon Martin, Tracy Martin, and of course Sabrina Fulton, his mother and father, and the family attorney Benjamin Crump. Let me start by saying, as we were moving around today, various forums, the Orlando Sentinel comes out with this story that Trayvon may have been the one to be the aggressor, assault Mr. Zimmerman. Of course, this is released by, quote, unauthorized sources in the police department. Let me ask you, as a mother and father, is Trayvon the type of person that would have attacked some stranger unprovoked?
No, what Trayvon would have done is defended himself. If he felt afraid, yes, I believe he would have defended himself. But I don't feel personally that Trayvon is just going to start a fight or just hit or beat on someone unnecessarily.
What is your view, Tracy?
Trayvon's mentality was he had a peaceful mentality, and I think he was confronted, and I think that he was doing his best to try to get home. And if that meant defending himself, then he had to defend himself. But as far as being the aggressor, no.
Now, Attorney Crump, when we look, and I'm showing on the live screen, of the record of Mr. Zimmerman, who had been arrested for domestic violence and who'd been also in an altercation with law enforcement, why are they asking about Trayvon, even if you were to believe this story about whether he had an empty sack or bag of marijuana, which is not violent and not material of this? There's no violence connected to Trayvon. Why are we talking about Trayvon? The one who has some documented violence is Mr. Zimmerman.
Absolutely, Reverend Sharpton, and it's the oldest trick in the book. Blame the victim, assassinate his character, and demonize him. And, you know, it's just sad because, unfortunately, Zimmerman shot and killed Trayvon, and he's not here to defend himself and his positions. And so the police, some unnamed source from the police leaked this, but we think that is the systematic process of trying to build Zimmerman claim up and put Trayvon's death as irrelevant and sweep it under the rug. They don't want to arrest him for killing this kid.
Isn't I watched you as we did the press conference, and one of the things that strike me, Sabrina, if this is an unauthorized leak, that they put this out on the month anniversary of your son's killing, does this enhance your distrust of police? I mean, why would the police, in an unauthorized way, put this out on a day like this?
I don't quite understand it. I don't think somebody is following policies and procedures. It hurt us very bad to hear that today on the 1 month anniversary. But we're trying to just move forward with this and follow the process according to our attorney's advice.
Does the leak, Tracy, tell you that there are forces in the police department that may be supportive of Zimmerman now? I mean, because where's all this coming from?
I believe, I strongly feel that, though, there is someone in the police department that's tied in with Zimmerman, and to continue to leak bad information and to depict the character of my son and continue to disrespect him even in his death, it's an atrocity.
Attorney Crump, there was a meeting with the state prosecutors. Does this in any way poison the state prosecutor's investigation?
It absolutely should have no bearing on the state attorney's investigation, just as it should have no bearing in any of this, Reverend Sharpton. The only thing that matters is what happened on the night of February 26th, and most importantly is when Zimmerman disobeyed the police dispatcher, got out of his car and stalked and pursued Trayvon and initiated the violent confrontation. He's the aggressor, and they're trying to spin this.
Now, in sports, if there's a question, we say go to the tape. The tape says clearly that Zimmerman said he was pursuing your son, Trayvon. The tape says clearly, we don't need you to do that. He said okay, and clearly that continued. The phone log of Trayvon talking to his girlfriend has the time in which he was talking to her, right up almost to the time of the death. So there's no lack of documentation from the story, as your attorney put it. So do you feel that they're trying to cover up? Do you feel like they got it by mistake? What is your real feeling that's going on here?
I actually feel that they were trying to cover up, but with so much information in the public eye or so much attention to this case, they are forced to try to do the right thing, but they have refused to.
And Tracy, what do you feel is at hand?
Reverend Al, the only mistake I see being made in this case is mistake number one, that the Sanford Police Department refused to do a thorough investigation. Mistake number two, Zimmerman should have never got out of his vehicle.
Now, Attorney Crump, let me just, for the listeners to understand, one, they refused to arrest Zimmerman, and you have argued, and people like me have agreed it was probable cause.
Yes, sir.
Second, they did not test Zimmerman for drugs or alcohol. They tested the victim, who was dead. Three, it was 3 days before Tracy could take his son's body, and he had to lead the charge to get that. And now this same department, unauthorized, releases this information, alleged information on Trayvon, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with the case. Is there a pattern here? And you met with the state prosecutor. Do you have more confidence in them than obviously you have in the local police department, Sanford, that keeps one error after another error?
Absolutely, Reverend Sharp. That we got to have more confidence in the state attorney that's appointed by the governor, because Sanford Police Department from day one, for whatever reason, has tried to do everything in their power to exonerate George Zimmerman for killing an unarmed teenager. Furthermore, You hit it right on the nail, Reverend Sharpton. It's important what was in Zimmerman's system, not what was in Trayvon's system. He's dead on the ground. He was the one being pursued. Zimmerman was the aggressor. He's the one who disobeyed the police. So why aren't we looking at what's in Zimmerman's system? And now we'll never know, because the Sanford Police Department made a decision not to do a drug and alcohol analysis on Zimmerman the night he shot Trayvon Martin.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that Ms. Corey, the state prosecutor appointed by the governor, should go for a warrant to arrest Zimmerman now, or should she wait on a grand jury? Are you asking for her to move right now and arrest Zimmerman?
We would like for her and her staff to move right now, immediately, and arrest him.
I would like for an immediate arrest.
Immediate arrest?
Immediate arrest.
And she has the grounds to do it, Attorney?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We pray that sending this to the grand jury would be the absolute wrong result. It should be an arrest now. If it was Trayvon Martin, Reverend Sharpton, America knows it. Everybody knows it. He would have been arrested right then. Why are we going to wait, and how long is it going to take to arrest George Zimmerman?
Tracy Martin, Sabrina Fulton, and Benjamin Crump, thank you. Ahead, George Zimmerman's fate rests in this woman's hands. Florida State Attorney Angela Corey has taken over the investigation. So where does it stand, and when will we hear something? Plus, the grassroots and celebrities and professional athletes. This tragedy is sparking protests all over the country. Sinbad and Reverend Jesse Jackson join me live. And in the world of politics, the beginning of an epic clash over President Obama's crowning achievement, his health care law. We'll break down all the action from today's arguments in the Supreme Court. You're watching Politics Nation on MSNBC.